need my sign up there so I can remember what to say.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Good News and Interviews with Forrest Lee. It's September the 20th, 2021. We've got a special treat for you. This is Mr. Mike Peacock. Mike, thank you for coming.
Hey, Mr. Forrest.
And I first discovered Mike, or heard Mike play. His father-in-law, George Browder, and his mother-in-law, Miss Vicky, had him sing at a Gideon's event 2 or 3 years ago.
That's right.
And I was amazed, to say the least. And but Mike, if you will, tell us about your hometown and a little bit about that, the high school that you attended. And
yeah. Well, you know, we moved up from Pensacola, Florida in 1988, 89 to Highland Home, which is where my sister and I went to school. I went there through the 10th grade, 4th grade to the 10th grade. And then we decided to move to Luverne, and I started going to CCA. My sister and I both did. And that's where I graduated from. And
that's Crenshaw Christian Academy.
Crenshaw Christian in Luverne.
Yeah. And your sister's name is?
Laura Lee Sykes.
And she teaches at Pike Liberal Arts.
That's right.
And how many children does she have?
Like 50. No, she's got 3 boys. Luke,
yeah.
Eli, and Hank.
That's right. Well, I saw her last week. She said, my brother's coming on your show. And
that's right.
I said, yes, he is. And I had no idea y'all were related. Now, a little bit about, after you graduated from Highland Home, what path did you take then, Mike?
You know, I kind of wandered aimlessly, to be honest with you. Tried a bunch of different...
It was a tumbleweed.
Yeah, it was. It took me a minute to find myself. A lot longer than I was anticipating. But, you know, I tried a lot of different occupations. Ended up in the car audio and security fabrication field. And so, you know, took me kind of all over Montgomery, Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, several different places, but it brought me back to Troy.
Okay.
And I actually worked at Sound Stations here in Troy for several years.
And now, where are you working now?
I'm in Montgomery now. I've been there for a little over 8 years at a place called Southern Tire and Wheel.
And where is that? Is that on the...
It's actually off of Zelda.
Okay.
It's off Zelda. We're a wholesale tire and wheel company.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you sell, when you say wholesale tire, you sell to...
We sell to the wheel and tire shops that you'll see on the highway.
Right. Not to the individuals, you sell
That's
to
right. That's
the
right.
tire company. Now, if you will, let's talk a little bit about your parents, your mother and your daddy.
So I'm junior. My dad was Mike Peacock Sr., and he was born and raised here in Troy on Orion Street.
Okay.
And my mother is Sally Peacock, and she was actually born in Montgomery, but they met, and here we are.
What's Miss Sally's maiden name?
Lawhorn.
Lawhorn.
Yeah, Lawhorn.
Right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, what I wanted to mention to you, you know, this is on Troy Cable Channel 2, but you can always follow us live on Facebook. Type in capital T, capital C 2, Troy Cable 2, and type in Good News and Interviews, and you can follow this show live right now. Or you can go to YouTube and do the same thing. And then later on, you can watch the show later and pull it up. If you don't have, you know, you can pull it up anytime.
Yeah.
On Facebook, search Troy Cable TC2 or YouTube, either way. Now, your children's names, let's talk about your family.
So my wife is Tori Peacock. She was Tori Browder. Of course, her parents are George and Vicky. And my kids are, Mikey is the third. You know, he's Michael Lamar Peacock the third. We call him Mikey. That's what everybody called me growing up.
Okay.
And my mother still calls me Mikey.
Okay.
So Mikey, and then Lucy Grace.
Right.
And
she was named after her two.
That's
Vicky's
right. Great
parents.
That's right. Great.
Which is Lucy Sanders was married to Hoot Al, and then Miss Grace Mosley. I never met her husband, but I'll tell you a quick story about Miss Grace. She used to grow hot peppers outside her place where she lived in downtown Goshen. And Steve, Vicky's older brother, we were rambling around together one summer. We would try to rob honey beehives that did not work. And then he said, this pepper right here, I bet you $1 you won't eat that pepper. I said, show me the dollar.
Uh-oh.
So I ate the pepper, and then he
Didn't
gave me
turn
that
out
dollar,
good.
and I ran down to Buffer Beard store and drank about, I think, 3 Coca-Colas that particular morning. He got me. He got me. And but anyway,
Granddaddy's still growing peppers. I was at his house the other day,
right.
and he had some old pepper plants out there. He said, "You want a pepper?" And they were good and dark. And I said, "No, I'm gonna pass.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pass."
One thing about Al Sanders and George Browder, they have 2 of the most distinct laughs in the world.
I thought you were gonna say that.
They do. I mean, they're different laughs, but you can get them going, and it's just fun to listen to them laugh.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
I want a special shout out to Miss Joyce, one of my favorite, one of the most sweetest ladies that there ever is,
She sure
and
is.
ever was. And but now a little bit about your church growing up.
Mhm.
Where did you go to church growing up?
So, in Highland Home, we went to Bradleyton Baptist Church. Parker Bowen was the pastor there, and I went there mostly through high school.
Okay.
When we moved to Laverne, honestly, I kind of, backed away,
Right.
But
But right there at Bradleyton Baptist, isn't the Methodist church close by too? Isn't it pretty close? But it's right
that's
there
the
in
one
that
right there in that
crossroads.
crossroads. That's right.
And one thing that's unique about that, George and his family grew up not far from
That's right, just a
Bradleyton,
couple
so
miles.
it's unique that you ended up marrying his little girl.
That's right.
And
That's right.
that's real neat. Now the Vine, Mike, if you will, tell us about your church currently, the
Yeah.
Vine.
So we're members of the Vine here in Troy, and we're a mobile church right now, and we set up at the rec center out on Enzer. We have services at 10 every Sunday, and we got really plugged in the last couple of years with the Vine, and it's really changed Tori and I's life. We've just heard things and learned things that I've never been taught, and in a way I've never been taught them. It was easy to take in, and we love it.
Who's the pastor there?
Pastor Lewis Johnson.
Lewis
I called him
Johnson.
preacher.
Preaching. And I've talked with Carla, and I had his 2 children, Hannah and Micah.
Mhm.
And if someone accepts the Lord, they can take a dip right there at one of the pools.
Right
can't they?
there in the
Right
pool.
there, right
It
there.
happens all the time.
And now, what is your role at the church?
So I'm just on the worship team.
Okay.
It's something I've always had. I'll say always. The last 10 years or so, I've had a good passion for music, and it never was until recently in more of the Christian style music. It was, old 3-chord country. But the Lord changed my focus and put it where He wanted me to, and I can appreciate those times before because it taught me what I needed to know. But yeah, He changed my focus, and I love playing.
Now the Vine, y'all recently were able to purchase what property?
Yep, the old movie theater.
Oh, movie theater.
Yeah, sure did.
When is the expected time to move in there? Do you have a rough
The
idea?
last date that I heard was around the first of the year.
Okay.
We got to do some stuff to get it ready, up to code, and they're going to redo, I think, some of the foyer stuff there where the snack bar and stuff was. I'm not sure if that's going to still be there or not, but yeah, big plans. I pray over that thing. I work in Montgomery, of course, so I go by there twice a day, and I pray over that building, and I prayed through the purchase, process of this, and I just believe that God's got big things in store for that building. It was meant for us to have it, and I know I've seen what He does in our church, and I can only imagine what He's going to do in a facility like that, where we could, help, where we can do so much more for the community, have so many more people involved in it.
Earlier, we talked about, want you to explain to the audience or tell them the story how you and Tori met.
So we were, she actually got stood up on a blind date. Thank you for that, fella. And so she came to join some friends and I that were eating at Ruby Tuesday.
Okay.
And that's where we met.
Where'd you take her on the first date? Can you remember? I'm putting him on the spot. That's okay. Ruby Tuesday is where it happened. Ruby Tuesday. And well, that's great. Well, Mike, you're going to sing a song for us.
Yeah.
And then we'll What's the name of the song and a little bit of the background of the song?
So the song is called Baptized, and it's by an artist I really, really feel connected to, named Zach Williams.
Okay.
You know? And
I don't think I've heard this particular song. I may have, but we're fixing to be in for a treat. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to step to the right. But, ladies and gentlemen, this is Mike Peacock.
Well, I can still see the steeple, a little church on the hill. Was a line at the altar, and every pew had been filled. Well, I remember the water, choir singing old hymns. There was a peace in the valley. Oh, as a preacher man he said, in the name of the Father, name of the Son, the name of the Spirit, washed by the blood, buried in Christ, raised to new life, baptized. Well, I can still hear the sermon. All the people said, amen. Was a gift of salvation. You could be born again. Well, I remember the power, the Holy Spirit rushing in. It was a peace like a river. Oh, as a preacher man he said, in the name of the Father, the name of the Son, the name of the Spirit, washed by the blood, buried with Christ, raised to new life, baptized. Oh, those are old stained glass windows, the stories they tell. The memory is clear, the day I was there. All those years I spent running, you've given me back. Now I'm stepping in, now I'm stepping in. Well, I'm stepping in the name of the Father, the name of the Son, the name of the Spirit, washed by the blood, buried in Christ, raised to new life, baptized. In the name of the Father, name of the Son, the name of the Spirit, washed by the blood, buried with Christ, raised to new life, baptized. I can still see the steeple, a little church on the hill.
We had a live audience, but man, Mike, that was
praise
sensational.
Jesus.
Baptized. And the author of that song again is
Zach Williams.
Zach Williams. Zach Williams, Baptized. And when you were singing that song, I'm thinking, Big Mike is smiling from heaven.
You're going to get me emotional.
And I mean, I've got chill bumps. And it's because of the spirit that comes through your heart, your soul, and your voice. And it's something electric about it. And that's, I think, the purpose. Like you said, we all have a purpose.
Yeah.
And we all have different talents. And use your talent in some way to serve God and for this particular moment and person, it's your voice, your singing, your spirit, your testimony. And there's probably a plethora of stories that Mike could share with us about when you get off the correct path, you find the correct path, and you stay on the correct path. And he's, you know, I know your mother's tickled. I mean, I hope she can see it. And but ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be back in just a few minutes with Mike Peacock. So I want to thank all our sponsors, and we'll be back after these messages.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
Attention! Attention! PremierTroy.com. We want your trade. We'll buy your car. Whether you purchase a vehicle from us or not, pre-owned car values are at an all-time high. Trade your car for cash or a newer vehicle. It's your choice. Premier wants your car. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody!
If you've had an accident or just want a new look for your vehicle, come see us at Troy Paint and Body, where we do it right the first time. Our staff has more than 100 years combined experience and can handle repairs and paint work on any make or model. We also offer a lifetime guarantee as long as you own your vehicle. Now that shows we stand behind our work. And our 24-hour towing service means we're here when you need us. So come see us at Troy Paint and Body, located on South Brundage Street in Troy beside the post office. Troy Paint and Body, where we may meet by accident, but you'll be glad we did.
Where should you go to find the best deals on a vehicle? Anywhere, anytime? PremierTroy.com. Shop our huge selection. PremierTroy.com. Pick your next vehicle. Pick your payment. Yes. Shop, save, and buy. PremierTroy.com. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
Brundage Building Supply and Paint Center at Jackson Hardware. 120 years and counting of real customer service with a smile and a heartfelt thank you for visiting with us. PPE, lumber, paint, building supply and roofing, guns, ammunition, American-made items, and oh, by the way, hardware.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Good News and Interviews with Forrest Tree Lee. We have Mike Peacock on the show with us. He just did a beautiful song, Baptized, by
Zach Williams.
Zach Williams.
I'll check him out.
Zach Williams. And want to say hello to his two children, Mikey and Lucy.
Hey, Mikey and Lucy.
And to his wife, Miss Tori. And Daddy will be home in just a little bit. And y'all can have a wrestling match after he gets some good supper. And but Mike, let me ask you this: your inspiration how did you get started playing the guitar and singing? How did you get started with that?
You know, just growing up, my dad there was always a guitar around the house. He picked around with it, and I never really, I learned a couple songs, but never really took it, seriously. And when I met Tori, there was one of her brother's guitars was in her apartment over here in Troy.
Okay.
And so I just started practicing, jumped on YouTube and learned a bunch of songs. And we got married, and I bought some gigging equipment, and I started playing shows and playing some weddings and some bars and some restaurants. And we did that for a couple of years. Grew my hair out all long. Thought I was somebody.
Now, are there any in your family, or any singers or musicians in your family other than yourself?
No.
Okay.
My sister can sing off key pretty good. I'm hoping she's listening.
Okay. Now, what about, can you play any other instrument besides the guitar?
a little bit of harmonica.
Okay.
I used to play harmonica while I played. That's it. You know, I've always wanted to learn how to play piano, and I've just never had the patience. But now, with life being a little bit busier with children and work, it's hard to take the time to learn. But
Well, when those two get to learning,
yeah, and learn too.
just dust the piano off. There's
That's
one
right.
around the house.
Yeah, there's one in Vicky's house.
Okay, and besides, guitar, what are some of the other hobbies that you have? I know you love you. What are some other things that you do that you like, or hobbies or interests that?
You know, my wife's probably she's gonna want me to say this, but I love detailing cars.
Really?
I love to wash and clean and wax and buff and keep a good clean car.
Okay.
So I love doing that. I know
Well,
may not be the best for everybody, but I really enjoy it.
Well,
really
I
enjoy it.
know of a couple of cars. If you need some more plans,
Yeah.
we can get them done. But, so detailing cars.
Love it.
All right. I'm just trying to think. How many guitars do you have?
I've got two. Both of them are Martins. They were given to me as gifts, Christmas gifts, and I'll always cherish them. I really will. It's something I can pass down to my son, and hopefully teach him how to play one day.
Right. Well, before
Or my daughter. Yeah.
Well, in just a few minutes, we'll let you sing another one. But this is some sweet, spicy, smoky chimney rock hot sauce. It's made with smoked habaneros, and this is bottled exclusively for Chimney Sauces LLC out of Auburn, Alabama.
Okay.
When we see the commercial, there's people diving into Lake Martin off Chimney Rock. And so it says take the leap, but this is a complimentary bottle on behalf of Chimney Rock sauce. They have a lot of these in store in the Lake Martin, Montgomery area, Auburn, and you can order this online. Go to let me read it correctly. Go to www.chimneysauce.com, and they've got this brand, and they're about to bust loose with a jalapeno and another brand that they have, but they ran out of peppers. I think it's the ghost pepper. But that's a little gift for you.
Thank you, sir.
And,
appreciate that.
Hope you enjoy it. And well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna exit. The next song is what, Mike?
The name of the song is Graves in the Gardens.
Graves in the Gardens.
A lot of different Christian singers have done it. I'm really not sure who wrote it the first time, but it's all over YouTube. It's a wonderful song. We play it at the Vine. Amanda Lally normally sings it. She does a phenomenal job. I haven't ever got a chance to sing it in church, but it's probably one of the first times I've ever done it, actually.
Yeah, going back to the Vine again.
Yeah.
Your service is what time of day on Sundays?
10 o'clock
Starts at
Sunday
10.
mornings.
Do y'all have anything on Wednesday nights?
We don't, but as soon as we get moved in that
Right.
building and get something, stationary, I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of outreach, a lot of Wednesday night stuff. And of course, before COVID hit, we were doing two services. We had a 9 and an 11 packed out. And, of course, kind of slowed everything down.
And y'all are currently at the rec department
we
on
still
Enza Road.
That's right.
And ladies and gentlemen, this is Mike Peacock.
I searched the world, but it couldn't fill me. Man's empty praise, treasures of faith are never enough. Then you came along, put me back together. And every desire is now satisfied here in your love. 'Cause there's nothing better than you, Lord. There's nothing better than you, Lord. There's nothing, well, nothing is better than you. failures and flaws, Lord, you've seen them all, and still call me friend. 'Cause the God of the mountain is the God of the valley. Your mercy and grace won't find me again. 'Cause there's nothing better than you, Lord. There's nothing better than you, Lord. There's nothing. Well, nothing is better than you. Oh, there's nothing better than you, Lord. There's nothing better than you, Lord. There's nothing. Well, nothing is better than you. You turn mourning to dancing. You give beauty for ashes. You turn shame into glory. You're the only one who can. You turn mourning to dancing. You turn that into ashes. You turn bones into army. You're the only one who can. 'Cause there's nothing better than you, Lord. There's nothing better than you, Lord. There's nothing. Nothing is better than you.
I'm gonna give you a button with applause or something.
That's right.
That is. Let me ask you this, Mike. Thank you again. That was wonderful. Do you have any of your songs on recorded that people can go to or anything like that?
I sure don't. Maybe it's something I ought to look into. I don't know.
What do churches call you? Hey, Mike, do you ever get invited to do homecomings? To
I have
sing?
been invited to a couple places to sing.
Yeah, sometimes
Yeah,
you can
sometime
do
I'll be
that.
able to work that out.
Oh, let's talk about your hat you got on there. That
Yeah,
says
Worship.
worship, WRSHP, worship.
That's
And where
right.
did you get your?
I got this off of artofhomage.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
It says, so is it on the
It
side?
says Product of Grace back there behind me.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got you.
Pretty sweet
I
hat.
imagine your little girl loves that.
That's right.
Lucy Grace. And
That's right.
well, Mike, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. And I got the kid and George one day, and I said, George, here's what we can do. We can have the girls come on, and then we'll follow that up. We'll get Mike to come on and sing, and then follow that up with you and Al coming on. I'll get your tickle box
getting up here
turned
talking.
over, and you can start laughing, and you can bring little Mikey and Lucy and the whole family, and we'll just have a good time.
That's right.
But, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank Mike again for coming.
Appreciate
Thank
you
you,
coming.
Mike, so much.
Yeah.
And best of luck to you and your family. Hope you have a great week at work, and hope you got something tasty at home to
I'm
eat.
sure there's
and
something. I'm sure.
Mikey and Lucy, he's coming,
Yeah.
so he's ready to wrestle.
And I just want to say, just glory to God. I just want to praise Him and thank Him for saving my life and just putting me in the best situations that He can. I just thank you, Jesus, for loving me. And I hope everybody gets to feel that in their life. And He wants it for everybody. And it's an easy gift and it's free. So
And Jesus is the light and is the way.
that's right.
And ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back with Miss Abby Lee. She's a professional photographer, and Sarah Tedder, who's a wedding planner. And we'll be back in just a few minutes with our next guest.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
Attention! Attention! PremierTroy.com. We want your trade. We'll buy your car. Whether you purchase a vehicle from us or not, pre-owned car values are at an all-time high. Trade your car for cash or a newer vehicle. It's your choice. Premier wants your car. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
If you've had an accident or just want a new look for your vehicle, come see us at Troy Paint and Body, where we do it right the first time. Our staff has more than 100 years combined experience and can handle repairs and paint work on any make or model. We also offer a lifetime guarantee as long as you own your vehicle. Now that shows we stand behind our work. And our 24-hour towing service means we're here when you need us. So come see us at Troy Paint and Body, located on South Brundage Street in Troy beside the post office. Troy Paint and Body, where we may meet by accident, but you'll be glad we did.
Brundage Building Supply and Paint Center at Jackson Hardware. 120 years and counting of real customer service with a smile and a heartfelt thank you for visiting with us. PPE, lumber, paint, building supply and roofing, guns, ammunition, American-made items, and oh, by the way, hardware.
Where should you go to find the best deals on a vehicle? Anywhere, anytime? PremierTroy.com. Shop our huge selection. PremierTroy.com. Pick your next vehicle. Pick your payment. Yes. Shop, save, and buy. PremierTroy.com. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Good News and Interviews with Forrest Tree. I want to thank Mike Peacock. That was some beautiful music. And now we're joined by two special ladies. We have on the far left of me is Miss Sarah Tedder. And in the middle we have Abby Lee. Welcome, ladies, to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. And Sarah, since you're on the far end, I'm going to start with you.
Okay.
And if you will, tell the audience a little bit about yourself, where you went, where you're from, what high school did you attend?
Okay, I'm from the Auburn, Alabama area. I went to Smith Station High School. I went to college here at Troy and got a degree in hospitality management.
Okay. Now, Smith Station, they're the Panthers.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, what are some activities that you participated in high school, Sarah?
I tell people that I did everything but the choral club.
Okay.
And I didn't play any sports, but I led our student section, and I feel like I tried to be president of every club. I did it all.
Okay.
It was a good time. Wore myself out for sure.
Well, good. Now, what about your family, your parents and siblings, if you have any?
Yes, my parents live in Auburn. My dad is getting married this weekend, actually.
Okay.
And my mom works there in Auburn as well.
Okay. Now, what's your mother's maiden name?
Burdette.
Burdette.
Yes.
Is she from where?
From the Columbus area.
The Columbus area.
Yes, sir.
Now, Abby's mother's from the Manchester area, so that's pretty close to Columbus.
Oh, yeah.
So, at Troy University, you said you majored in what?
In hospitality.
Hospitality.
Management, and I got a minor in event management.
Okay. Now, what are some activities that you were involved in at Troy University?
I was a KD for a few years.
Okay.
And then I stopped that when I opened my business.
Okay. And you opened up your business in how long ago or what year?
A year and a half ago. So
Okay.
January of 2020.
Okay. We're going to get into your business in just a little bit. Abby, if you will, tell us a little bit about your family.
So I'm from
Because the audience does not know. Some of them don't.
I'm from Troy, Alabama, and for those of you watching who don't know, Forrest Lee is my dad. I claim him sometimes, and Jody Lee is my mother. I grew up here, like I said. I went to Charles Henderson High School, graduated in 2018, and yeah.
Okay. Now, what were some activities that you participated in high
So
school?
I cheered, and I also clogged at Shebang, that is located downtown Troy on the square. And you had Miss Trisha on one of your shows,
Yeah,
didn't you?
Miss Trisha Ratcliffe, and
Yeah.
you did that for multiple years.
Yeah, I clogged for 13 years. I can do it in my sleep. So yeah, I cheered and danced, and that was really it. And then I got started into photography as I got older, and yeah.
All right, Sarah, your current job, other than wedding planner, what do you do here in Pike County?
I work for the Pike County Chamber of Commerce. I'm the chamber assistant there under Dana Sanders, the president. So I work alongside her and serve local businesses here in Pike County.
All right, now what are some of the features that the chamber does for businesses here in Pike County?
So we do a lot of advertising for businesses. We do a lot of just like bringing local businesses together, uniting them. A lot of small businesses, it's a struggle to survive on your own sometimes. So we unite them and support them together, and then we also advocate for them as well. We are able to communicate with our local government here and let them know what our local businesses need. So it's not as easy for a small business owner to just call the mayor, but they can call us and we can go straight to Jason.
So it's like Pike County and the city of Troy are working together to promote business in
Yes.
Pike County. Now, what are some new businesses that we have just opened up in Brundage? Is there the Kennedy?
Yes.
Were you there for that? Tell us a little
Yes.
bit about the Kennedy.
So the Kennedy is this home that this family, the Kennedys from Florida, came and they have purchased and restored it, and it's beautiful.
I've been in it.
Yes, you can rent it. They rent it out on Airbnb. You can also rent it for weddings. It holds up to 40 people, or just like small events. They have some tailgating things going on out there as well.
They've got a lot of parking, and one thing about that place, it is very spacious. And like I think if some parents from ball players come in for football, basketball, baseball, women's athletics, or whatever, that is a great place to have several families together where they can be under the same roof and pool their money. And it's very inexpensive, but it is super nice.
Yes.
It's the Kennedy is the name of it. It's right off the square. I believe John Kennedy is the owner. He and his wife. He was on the show one night. That's the reason a little bit about it. I know. Any other new businesses? I read in the paper the other day. What's coming to Troy? Is it Big Lots?
Oh yes, they did announce that.
Yeah, Big Lots is coming to the old Food World place.
Yes, McAllister's opens next week. Voltage Dance Academy of Dance up by
Is that in Brundage?
Extreme. It's in
Oh yeah, by
Troy.
Extreme. Yeah.
Yes,
It's
they're
on the
opening-
left. Okay.
Yes.
Voltage.
Voltage, and then we have Heritage 1843 that just opened.
That's Miss Pugh.
Yes,
Miss Pugh. Is that what? Holly?
yes,
Yeah, Holly.
It's a really
Okay.
nice clothing store for men.
And that's downtown Troy.
Yes, on the square.
Okay. Any other downtown or?
Yeah,
Every-
there's Fuse that's opening up on the square. It's a coffee shop. It's going to be really nice. They should be opening any day now. They haven't announced, but
Okay.
we're expecting it soon.
Yeah.
And then Beltone, which is a hearing aid place, just opened on the square as well.
Wow. So really, if you go back 3 years ago and then look now, there are a lot of things that have happened in downtown Troy,
Oh, yes.
in Brundage. We need a little spark in Goshen, Henderson. But anyway, that's fantastic. And you work for Miss Dana
Yes, sir.
Sanders, and her maiden name is Calvert, and she taught Abby. What grade was that, Abby?
Third, we were her first class at Troy Elementary School. She taught me in third grade, and then at sixth grade when I went to the middle school.
Who was she filling in the third grade?
Miss Curtis.
Miss
Misty.
Curtis, because she was having a
Baby, yes.
baby. That's right.
Yep. She's a great teacher.
Yeah. And let's see. I got to take my glasses off to read. Now, as far as being a wedding planner, how did that just click? How did that happen?
It's a funny story. See, I came to Troy to be a high school biology teacher. And I observed a few classrooms. And I was like, well, I love students. But I was in an organic chemistry class. And all my friends around me were going to go to med school and make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was struggling to not make a lot of money. Like I would be struggling through school just to not make a lot of money in the long run. And it's not all about money, but I just wasn't enjoying it, and organic chemistry was way over my head. But I didn't know what I wanted to do after that. I loved event planning. So I was on Facebook and saw a wedding planner, and I thought, oh, that's a fake job. Like, that's only in movies with J-Lo. That's not real.
Yeah.
But I messaged her and was like, hey, can you just tell me about your job? Like, is this real? Is it possible? Like, do people even, if you don't start your business, who do you work for? So I just asked all the questions, and she said, hey, do you want to, like, just come and work a few weddings with me?
Well, who was this? Where was this person at? Where was she located?
She's in Auburn.
Auburn?
Her name is Michaela. She no longer does weddings anymore, so
Okay.
which is nice because she sends me her clients, but she's supported me a lot. So I've worked with her, and once I did that, I changed my major and just went for it.
Let me get. Hey, Nate, if we can get some of those pictures of the wedding, there we go. And okay, the wedding planner. So that inspired you.
Yes.
So roughly, how many weddings have you done?
I have done maybe around 40 now. I did 14 last year. I worked 8 with Michaela before, and then I've got, let's see, I've done about 16 this year, and maybe like 10 more to go for the year.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm booked all the way to November 2022 right
Do you try to book every weekend, or
now.
what? Now
That's how burnout.
you try to do 2 or 1 or?
Well, in my head, I say, oh, I'm only going to book 2 a month.
Okay, I got you.
But then I had 5 in September.
All right, let me ask you this. All right, now, so everybody will know, including me, a wedding planner, how does that first start? What are the steps? Say if somebody called you tonight, hey, I want you to be my wedding planner. What are the steps that you have to take to help the bride with her wedding?
So there's many different options. They would obviously email me, and we would figure out the best package for them. So I offer 3 packages, which is a wedding day coordinating package where the bride plans everything, and I come in and I call the vendors, I make the timeline, I design the room of the wedding, the reception space, and then I run the rehearsal and day of. So that's like the most basic package. But then when we get into the planning packages, it's anywhere from me laying out their budget, sending them vendor options, saying, hey, these are the photographers that fit in your budget, and these are the ones that are closest to you that aren't going to charge for travel. So helping them find the vendors that work best for them is a big part of it. And then just the little details. So how many chairs a person should rent, I'm able to give them that amount.
Right.
How much alcohol to buy, I'm able to tell them the exact number of cans of beer.
Right.
So just different little things like that.
And that's the second package and the third somewhere in there?
Yes.
Okay.
There's some thin
So
lines there
on the
between.
day of the wedding, now, 'cause we know about after the rehearsal dinner. So the day of the wedding, normally you will be up and at it right off the bat. Will you be with the bride the whole day, or do you go get everything set up, or it's already set up the day before? What are those steps?
Ideally, it would be set up the day before. That does not always happen, and there's always details that you have to do the day of. But I always take an assistant with me, and so one of us will be setting up, checking in vendors, making sure everything's flowing, and the other one is carrying the bride's dress around for her, making sure she has water, making sure the groom doesn't see her before he's supposed to, and tending to her. But I don't normally just sit by her side. I'm a busybody, and I can't just sit, and that's not why I'm there. I'm there to make the background stuff go smooth.
Yeah. And so whenever it's time for the wedding to begin, there's a sequence of events that have to take place.
Yes.
Where you send,
People
I guess,
go
the
around.
piano player up, the singer, the groom enters this room A, go here, and so you coordinate all that stuff.
Yes.
So there's more to it than that. So after the wedding takes place, what about the post evaluation? Is there something you do? Hey, what can I change? Or
Yes. So after every wedding, I call my team. Normally we go and get dinner or a snack, or we talk on the drive home, but we say, hey, what went wrong? What could we improve on? What did we do good? So kind of just pick, highlight our strengths and highlight our weaknesses and see what we can do to get better.
Okay.
As well as I ask for feedback from the bride, her family, and the vendors, see if there's anything I can do to make the process flow better there as well.
Right.
And then I nap.
Okay, so, but as far as honeymoons and all that, you let the groom take care of all that?
Yes.
Okay.
I recommend travel agents to
Right.
them, but I don't handle the honeymoon.
Hey, Nate, can you concentrate on those pictures of weddings and photography and all that kind of stuff? What did he say? Anyway, it's there. He's trying to work on it. All right, let's see what I've got. So you've done about how many again? Roughly?
Around 30, 40.
30, 40. All right, okay. All right, Abby, let's talk about Abby Lee photography just a little bit. So, Abby, your interest in photography began about what time?
Well, I feel like I've always been like more on the creative and artsy side, like growing up. Like I, took a lot of art classes and stuff, and I feel like I get, part of that from you as well. You're very creative, and so it started, I got my first camera when I was 16, and I just kind of would force my friends, like, hey, let's go take pictures downtown, or I had all these different ideas, and from there, people, kind of started wanting to hire me, like, hey, we'll pay you to take my senior pictures or these family pictures, and it just kept blowing up, and as I kept upgrading my gear, I kept raising my prices, and it just kind of overnight, social media is a great thing and a good way to like market yourself. So it just kind of blew up overnight. And when I was in college at Troy University, I went for 3 semesters, and that was another way that my name just kept growing and growing. And then, it got to the point where I was in school, and then I dropped out, stopped going, whatever you want to call it. And now I just do it full time. Like, this is my business. I have a business license, and it's a blessing. So yeah, I love it.
All right, going back to art teachers, who were your art teachers in school?
Oh, so let's see. In elementary school, I had Miss Jennifer Lindsay. Middle school, I had Jennifer Sullivan. And then high school, I had Pam Smith and Charlotte Walden. And Miss Walden is a huge reason why, like, she was super helpful and, like, just inspired me and pushed me to, like, think outside of the box. She's a great art teacher, and she's still there now. She's talented herself.
Well, you just mentioned 4 people. They're the 4 people of Mount Rushmore in art. Yes, they are the women of Rushmore.
Yes, they're all great.
Yeah, well, we're going to get one built somewhere. But I'll tell you what, I've been around those ladies, teaching in Troy City schools, and I love art. And I was inspired by my art teachers, Miss Teresa Sanders and Mr. Bob Lawrence. I loved art in high school, calligraphy, and of course I had Mr. Goforth in the elementary years, and we kind of clashed. But there used to be some clay on a wall that I threw, some of us threw. But anyway, but one thing I want to let the audience know, my mother, Bonnie McLeod Lee, and another sweet lady from Goshen, Elaine Smith Carmichael, they worked for the Troy Messenger as staff writers and photographers. And it's a blessing that Abby has the magic of photography, the gift. And y'all have become close friends. And how did y'all meet?
So we actually met, we had a wedding back in February of 2020.
The first wedding with my business.
Before everything got crazy. And that was probably my, 4th or 5th wedding.
Whose wedding was it?
Bertie Howell.
Okay.
Norris.
Grant Norris.
Yeah.
They are the college ministers at First Baptist.
Okay.
And it was in Dothan, and she was the wedding coordinator, and I was a photographer, and I was so nervous. I was like, oh my gosh, I thought she was older, maybe 30s, 40s. I was like, she's going to boss me around and wear this same thing. I was like, she's going to be so mean to me. But no, we just clicked and, just support each other, and here, recently gotten closer, and yeah.
Well, good. Now, so, Sarah, what year did you graduate high school?
2017. It's been a while.
2018.
So y'all, there's only about a year's difference in your age. So
I'm not 30.
She's not 30.
And not that that's old. Don't get offended.
Now, Abby, what type of equipment do you use currently?
Well, I shoot with Canon. I'm Team Canon, and I have multiple bodies. And one thing that I learned in photography, of course, you have cameras that you can buy that have like the lenses attached. Well, I learned very quickly that you have to buy, to upgrade your gear, bodies and lenses separately. So I have 2 bodies that I shoot with, and I won't name them out. I feel like people won't understand, and sometimes I don't. I feel like I'm more artsy than like technical side. But anyway, so I have like 2 bodies and like portrait lenses that I shoot with, and wide angle lenses, and then of course zoom lenses, which is for like weddings and stuff, like ceremony time, so I can get those long shots when I'm in the back of like the church or the venue, and you know, the couples at the altar. So yeah.
A couple things, you know, early in your career, what are some gigs what are some things that you or people or
So I've worked with a lot of people around Troy and outside of Troy. I've worked with a lot of local businesses. My senior year of high school, I got my first gig with Troy Life magazine, which is through the Messenger, and I've done a couple of editions with them, and a lot of my work has been on the cover of those magazines, which is just crazy. Even though we're in small town Troy, Alabama, it's just like awesome to give back and like see that you're working with people like in the community, and like, hey, I took that, and like, you know, we all have this thing in common. But anyway, so I've worked with Troy Life magazine before. I don't know if y'all know Judith March. Stephanie Campbell owns that company. Great person. She reached out to me, and that was such a fun job. I've worked with...
That's one of them right there. Isn't that one
yes,
of her
yeah,
girls?
That's her
one of the models?
Clothes. Yeah, that's my shot.
And that's one of her father-in-law's planes.
Yes, I've worked with Posh and P, the Confetti Crate. Trying to think who else I've worked with. Like, you know, just getting... Oh, Jen and Company. Great people, just like very supportive.
Pause it right there, Nate. That's how you can get in touch with Abby.
Yes,
and
I
in
made
a minute,
that a couple days ago.
Yeah,
Don't hate
and whenever you can find Sarah's, we're gonna pause that. A way to get in touch with her. Is that it there?
That's just her logo.
Kindred
Yes.
Weddings. Sarah, if you will, tell the audience how to go to your website, or how do they get in touch with you?
So my website is kindredwed.com, and then my email is kindredweddingco@gmail.com. You can also find me on Facebook and Instagram.
Okay, well, good. And let's see. All right, going back to Abby real quick. Abby, for an example, say you have someone that's contacted you about a wedding, and y'all have agreed to do it. So what are the steps that you do with a bride? You meet with her, and then what are the next
So kind of how I work, just like Sarah, it's kind of similar. Of course, I'm just the photographer. So just a little bit about me and my business, Abby Lee Photography. I take pictures at weddings. I do families, high school grads, college grads. I'll do events. Like I've said, I've worked with a bunch of local businesses. You name it, I've probably attempted it, tried it. But anyways, back to the weddings. If you're a bride looking to get married and you want to get in touch with me, I highly recommend for you to contact me through my website. And so, you know, just the initial like, hey, thanks so much for reaching out. So happy like you're considering me to be your photographer. I'll send her my packages, you know, which includes X, Y, and Z. So therefore that may be like a certain amount of hours of coverage for the day of, or like an engagement session or bridal portraits. And from there, you know, we'll just chat back and forth and see if we're a good fit. And from there, you know, we'll contracts and all that stuff will be signed and payments will be made. And then we'll kind of keep in touch. You know, it just depends. Like I have people now who are booked, you know, for next November 2022. So right now I kind of don't really need to talk to them, I guess you could say. But, you know, we'll check in, and the first thing we do is plan and just get to know each other and plan their engagement session if they have one. And then I step in, and sometimes when I'm working with wedding planners, we'll come together and coordinate the day of timeline. So sometimes I'll arrive, depending on what package you choose, you know, at your wedding day at like lunchtime, and I'll be there, you know, till like 9-10 p.m. to get all the shots, you know, that everybody wants nowadays. So yeah, that's kind of how it works.
So Sarah, your steps are really a lot to do before the wedding and during the wedding.
Yes.
Abby's is a little bit before, during the wedding, but after the wedding, that I've come to figure out, the editing is a longer process than meets the eye, because you take on average of how many pictures say at a regular wedding?
So of course, it just depends on like small weddings, big weddings, but on average, and I have 2 cameras that I shoot with throughout the day, and of course if you hire a second shooter, that's just going to add on more images, but I'll average probably 4,000 to 6,000 photos. And if you're anything like me, looking at a computer or TV screen or even your phone, can just get tiring really quickly, and looking at the same thing, it starts to drive you crazy. So it just takes a lot of work that people don't realize, and especially, just your technique and how you do things and how you edit, and everybody has their own style. Like, it's just so much more than clicking a shutter button and posting it on Instagram. It really, especially if you hire a professional, and of course I'm still growing and learning, but yeah, it's just a lot of work.
Now, Sarah, so you said after the wedding, y'all get together, you and your staff,
Yes.
and try to eat dinner on the way home. You troubleshoot or after action report if you're military.
Yes.
Now, are you able to go to other websites or see other weddings where you kind of have different ideas that inspire you or anything?
Yes, definitely.
And, so let me ask you this for both of you. And I know y'all have become real close friends. Say 10 years from now, what is a goal or a destination that y'all would like to individually maybe go to and try that city, or any kind of, say 10 years from now, where do you think you might be in the field of wedding planning or other?
Way to go, me.
You can go first.
I think for me personally, I would love one day to own my own natural light photography studio. So, people could come in and take pictures. And I love fashion, editorial, funky looks. So yes, I do traditional stuff, but I really like thinking outside of the box. And anyway, so I'd love to own my own studio one day, to have that for access, and when it's a rainy day, that would be nice. But and then as far as city goes, I would love to, I've been in Troy my whole life, and I love Troy, but I would definitely love to move and grow and expand, and maybe start out in Alabama and move to another state, and I can always come back home. But there's just so many photographers and wedding planners, and if you throw elopements in there, that just travel the world and the United States. So I just love to keep growing and expanding.
So you travel with an eloping couple somewhere.
Yeah,
hey, I'll go with you, pay my way. Now, what about you, Sarah?
I'm very similar.
Okay.
I think we're both similar in this because we're just young, single women.
Yeah,
we have nothing really tying us anywhere.
Yeah.
So we just want to get out and see the world. I would love to do luxury weddings eventually.
Right.
This sounds crazy, but there's a market of people who pay $50,000 to $90,000 for a wedding, which sounds insane. In a small town Alabama, it does, but there are people who pay that. So I want to eventually reach that market.
Yeah.
I do realize it takes a lot of work to get there, so I'm being very patient with
Well, listen, as a dad of a photographer, I'm so excited for Abby, and her mother is too, and I'm so thankful that she's met you, and y'all have bonded and developed a good relationship, and you're kind of like a team in a way. You need a wedding planner, you got a photographer, here they are. So get in touch with them. Hey, give us your website again, Sarah, if you will.
It's kindredwed.com. KINDREDWED.com.
Okay, and then we got Abby Lee
Yes,
Photography.co.
on Facebook and Instagram, Abby Lee Photography, and then my website is abbyleephotography.co.
Well, listen, I got a gift for y'all. If I can find which folder I put it in. And got a superstar sponsor. Got several of them. I love all of you. The Old Barn Restaurant.
She's never been.
I've never been.
Well, you're going to get to go,
And I've
sister.
been dying. I've heard you love it.
Yeah, I love it. But I've got a gift certificate for both of you to the Old Barn Restaurant. It's located in Goshen, Alabama. 484-3200. Go see Amy and company there. And next week, I've got the Gregory girls. They're cowgirls. All three little girls. Their dad's Jason Gregory. He owns Premier Dodge. But they're coming on next week. Diana Lee's coming on. She's going to talk about some special things that are going on with the Downtown Music Association here in Pike County, I think, and she's a sweet lady, and Troy Bacon Trust, you've got a gold mine there. Then the next week, Amy Chandler, her daughters are coming on talking about the rodeo. Both her daughters, or all three of them, have done the rodeo before. But we want to thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for Mike Peacock. Thank you, Sarah Tedder, for coming, and Abby Lucille Lee. We love you. And y'all have a great week, and see us next week on Good News and Interviews. And I want to thank Nate Braystead. He's in the